I've been a full-time reseller for 4 months now.
I'm no longer employed.
I bought these doorknobs, these instruments, these breakers and switches, board games, vintage electronics, and security supplies. But what happened in month number 4?
Wow, the first day of month number 4.
Week 1 starts off right into the sales, where I sold 3 doorknobs for 55 bucks. But as soon as I packed them, I realized this.
It was $50 with free shipping.
I would have known that I probably would have countered.
But the thing is, that was the guy that bought like 60 doorknobs off me. I've made a lot of money off that particular customer. You can't sweat the small stuff.
Later on that day, I went to the thrift store to see what they had. Unfortunately, skunked. Just $1.50 for these games, and also
They had local grown garlic in there for 50 cents each.
then I continued to go through the telecom stuff that I had bought the week before. But before it could be listed, it had to be cleaned,
So I'm just going through and cleaning up some of this stuff. But that's like the reality of like what I do.
which was super time consuming. Then later on, I had a few small sales, this faucet for 50 bucks, and a t-shirt for 10. So I packed them up and got right back to listing. But that's when I realized this.
Draft banking has changed my whole life. I would have a mental block where I would overthink every listing I put up. Oh man, should I have done that differently? Is the pricing right? I don't know if it's listed right. Draft banking has really eliminated that pressure. So I am almost done with these parts, but just to give you an idea of how much labor I have into this so far, however long Ozark is. Oh, I had 2 little sales earlier today. This measuring cup, this came with the pasta maker. $15 this thing sold for, and a pair of shorts.
But my mood quickly changed when I saw this happen.
I just got a neutral feedback. Person ever tried to reach out to me. What they said is factually untrue. They said I advertised it as an adult size large and it was actually youth size large.
I looked at the original photos and saw that it says CN 180. Now, if I look that up, that translates to US men's size large.
The next day was super nice.
I walked, it's like 60 degrees. There was actually a free bin and I pulled this out of it. It's in nice shape. It's Al Capone, no comment. 1 strap backpack. Like, come on. You think that Al Capone was alive today, he'd be wearing that?
And while doing my daily Facebook market scroll, I came across something quite interesting.
There's one lot of studio equipment, mixers and equalizers and stuff like that. The guy said he wants to get $1,000 for it. That's what he has into it.
So I made plans to look at it the next day.
Just got back. Told the guy basically, like, I want everything except for the speaker cabinets because there's a bunch of speaker cabinets there. I'll give you $500 for it. And he's like, oh, let me think about it. I got another guy coming to look at it. I was like, yeah, dude, do what you want to do. So I'm just not too excited about it. There's probably is money there, but it's just is a lot of work, a lot of cleaning, custom packaging, all that kind of stuff. It's all big, and also it's a big risk. You don't know really like what all is there. And then also it was on the 2nd floor of his garage, so everything has to be brought down with a ladder. I did have a little Mercari sale from the board game lot for like 16 bucks.
But I didn't realize that free shipping was turned on. Idiot. As soon as I got the label on,
I wound up making an agreement with the guy for $600 for this stuff. It's starting to rain right now. It's going to be super cold tomorrow. I'm like, I can get some of the stuff out of there today. I don't know if I'll get all of it, but I'll try my best. It's just like, I don't want to deal with it in the rain, but I'll at least get you the paid.
so I went right away to secure my purchase.
The back seat's full. The trunk is full. It's some heavy stuff. Still have a bunch more stuff over there to go through. Wednesday right now, I told him I was going to go back over there on Saturday. And I also told him, with all the stuff that I didn't buy, I'll sit here and I'll make the Facebook Marketplace listings because it's only going to take me an hour to do it. And I feel weird picking the bones and not leaving the guy with something. Thing is, my house is so full of stuff.
I started taking things out of the car piece by piece as I was really running low on space. I started off with these tape players, and while I initially felt good about my purchase, that night,
Pretty much all of the profit I made last month is gone. From the second we got in the door, he was like, oh, I bet you, I was telling my son that if he sold all this stuff on eBay, that he could make a lot of money. And so I was like, actually, yeah, that's what my plan is too. I explained to him what the challenges are and everything you'd have to go through in order to do that. But I told him, I'm like, look, man, if you want to sell this stuff yourself, he lives right down the road. I'm like, I'll help you with it. I'll give you any advice that you need. Like, I'm trying to educate him, like, if he wants to, but at the same time, I'm explaining to him all the work that has to go into this stuff.
the next day was right back to the grind cleaning gear, and later that morning,
Proof quarters that I have. I was asking $23.99. Somebody sent me an offer for $15, and I saw like a bunch of notifications. So it was all the same buyer. They wanted to buy all of them for $15 a piece. So it's only one package. 5 of these for $15 a piece is $75, I think. So
but then I ran into my first big holdup.
So I'm testing out some of this equipment in here. The only issue is I haven't been able to try out the microphone inputs. As we can see, I have this issue with that is it's a condenser microphone. Now, condenser microphones require something called phantom power, which means that it sends actual voltage to the microphone. I don't believe that mixing board has phantom power on board. So you need a dynamic microphone.
So we'd have to skip that step and start working on other equipment.
Just going through and cleaning up some of this stuff. As you can see, I took off all of the knobs, so you can see some of the spots I haven't cleaned yet. So that all has to be done with a Q-tip and rubbing alcohol. And all of the knobs I put into this pickle jar.
Another sale in between.
Just sold this.
And I was right back to it.
I had to clean up all these knobs individually. Dirt out of there as best I could. So it looks a lot better than it did.
But some of these are bent, and so they all have to be straightened out. So I'm going to try to take a pair of pliers and just kind of gently persuade them back into place.
This work was exhausting, and in those circumstances, minor frustrations turned into big headache.
I had listed a doorknob that was missing a key, and somehow the listing had free shipping on it. I didn't even realize it. Come on.
But I decided just to pack it up and send it out. And luckily,
I just sold a pair of shorts. As much as I'd like to get bigger, higher dollar stuff sold, it all needs to go.
but after 3 full days, my car was finally unpacked. But
So I'm completely full with stuff. I mean, it's kind of an ongoing problem, but then I got the audio equipment. It's a big mess.
so it was the last day of the week, and sales really hadn't been that good. I just been grinding away without seeing any of the fruits of my labor. That is until that night.
I got an offer for 3 locks. Door locks. I got an offer for 3 of them for $50 plus shipping, which I took. And then also somebody sent me an offer for that record player upstairs for $50 plus shipping. Dude, I need it out of here. It takes up way too much room, and I have all this new stuff coming in. So please take it.
I needed to get them out the next day to make room for the rest of the gear. So even though it was 10 o'clock at night, I started packing.
Oh yeah. I go back over to my phone, and I found out that the tape machine sold on Reverb for like 400 and something bucks. So man. So what is that, like $600 today in sales? Not bad at all.
So I started packing that up, and it certainly wasn't easy. At 40 pounds and super delicate, things got even more hectic when I sold this pasta maker for another 25 bucks.
So it just keeps going. So I'm gonna have to do that too.
I was a bit overwhelmed, to say the least.
I've shipped everything except for the thing I actually have to ship, which is this turntable. That needs to go out tomorrow.
So I got back to work for the next half hour. I had to figure out how to pack it up so it wouldn't get damaged.
All right, it is now about midnight. I'm just ready for bed. Luckily, I got all that stuff packed. All I have to do tomorrow is just find a box or build a box for that turntable.
And with all the money came a bunch of work. But the outlook for week 2 didn't seem like it would get any easier. Week 2, and I'm up at 7.
That mixing console that I spent all day cleaning, I listed it this morning for $125, and it's not even an hour later, and I got an offer for $100, which I accepted because I just have too much stuff going on in here.
Even though I went to bed late that night, I had a long day ahead. I had to pack the turntable, plus now the mixer, but then I had to ship everything right away, because later that morning, I'd have to go get the remainder of the stuff I had bought last week, and I couldn't even fit it all in one trip.
Finally back. I need to get a storage unit pronto. This is like too much stuff in my house. I mean, why wouldn't I at this point? I don't think they're open today, but maybe. I just made a commitment to get a storage unit. Like I said, I can start using it immediately. Maybe I'll just go unload my car right into that place. Here we are. Something I've needed to do for a while.
It actually took 3 carloads to get the entirety of the lot. So while some of it was in storage, I still had a bunch of stuff back home, and now it was time to go through and clean, test, and list it all.
3 o'clock right now. My day started at 7 a.m. and I have yet to eat.
But then I sold a board game for 25 bucks plus shipping. So I packed that up.
The second time I was there, he was like, hey, I have all the cables too. Do you want them? And I opened up one of the boxes, and I'm like, no, because it was just speaker wire. But I realized after the fact that some of the power cables were missing for some of the stuff that I bought. And when I opened up one of the containers, there was a bunch of microphones in there. Now, these are just like cheap. I didn't know how many was in there, maybe 7 or 8. So I just told the guy, I was like, I'll give you another 20 bucks because I didn't know all these microphones were in there. And he was like, yeah, I wound up getting them, but I don't know what all is in there because they're just kind of like mixed in with a bunch of cables and stuff. So I'm gonna have to go through and figure that out.
And this lot had gotten my house so full that I couldn't even bring everything inside. But with how crazy this day had been, I was not even close to prepared for this.
So I just went out and saw my friends for like first time since New Year's. And while I was on my way home, a cassette deck, that brand new TEAC, sold for 600 bucks almost plus shipping. I just realized that the buyer is in Mexico. It was through an international sale and they have zero feedback at all.
Is this a scam? I looked up the buyer of the cassette player last night, but luckily I found the guy, and based on what I saw, it was like seemed like just a regular dude. Still could be, so I'm gonna take every precaution I can. So the other thing is, I've obviously, after month one, have been getting a ton of benefits with my reselling from the YouTube itself, people reaching out with different inventory. But with that being said, look at what's still possible. Like, I found all of this stuff. Great deal. It's not even 4 minutes from my house.
Later on that day, I had to test all the mics I had gotten.
Yeah, whoa. So I just got done going through the microphones, and actually there was some good ones in there. These are both Shure microphones. Beta 87. Something like this might be like $120. This is a Beta 58A. This might be like a $70 microphone, whereas this is only a $7 microphone. The one challenging thing is a lot of these, especially the older ones, don't have labeling on them, so it's going to be a little bit trickier to find out.
And then later that night,
Late Sunday night, and I was so lazy all day today, just really tired. I haven't really not done anything in a long time. I was going to test those microphones and stuff earlier, but I never shipped the cassette. Now the other thing is, it's in the original box, but I don't want to ship it in that box. Like, I want to put another case around it. Part of the appeal is that, it's in the original box.
so I packed that up before finally going to bed.
This morning, I sold one of those Pringles holders. Probably one of the best thrift store flips I've ever had. They were 5 cents each, and I sold it for $18.99 with free shipping. Man, I'm just so overwhelmed. So much stuff to do, and just yesterday not doing anything or barely anything really kind of set me back, but it was probably good. I have packages loaded up in the car, and then I also have all the amps and mixers that I already listed. I'm going to go hit the post office, and I'm going to go hit the storage unit. I checked how much I made over the weekend after fees and everything. $1,130, which is crazy, but it's actually more scary than anything.
But I didn't have time to sit around and worry, because right as I said that, this happened.
So I just got an offer a little while ago for the CD player, TEAC, brand new in the box. For me $150, I counted with $200, and we met at $175.
Great score. But now I had to start going through all the cables I had gotten. They were all huge rat's nests, but they could definitely be sold.
So I don't know exactly how I'm going to sell those cables, but regardless, it's going to look so much better. Just the fact that I went through it, wrapped them up, it looks like you actually have something. Because I see other people on there, and it just looks like a big rat's nest, and you have no idea what's even in there. At least here, I can say 3 15-foot XLR cables and just kind of give a whole rundown of everything. This is the reality of trying to edit on a 7-year-old computer, 8-year-old computer. I don't even know how old. It just restarts randomly. So I guess we have to put that on hold for a little bit.
And as annoying as that was, it didn't even compare to this.
So I was just opening up this microphone because I realized that in most of the pictures, people show what's on the inside. And as soon as I did that, this one was working and the wire broke.
Well, I had the tools to fix it, but definitely lacking skills, because when it comes to soldering, I'm all thumbs.
I was able to get it soldered back in. The worst soldering job of 2024, but... So late last night, I sold a pair of shorts, and then I also sold one of the cassette players out of the stuff that I bought last week.
So I packed them up, but the sales just kept going. I almost couldn't even keep up.
Today has been very, very busy. Obviously, I've been packing up the cassette player, but then also I sold a knockoff Brita filters. So I only had 2 of the 3 left. Somebody bought them for $5.99 plus shipping. Then somebody offered me $39 for a coin, which I accepted. I was talking to somebody about one of the Lutron switches, and they seem like a pain in the ass. The lady wound up offering me $42. I'm asking $55. Being really annoying. Are you going to guarantee that this works? I can't guarantee anything. I said, I'm confident that it works, and if it doesn't work, let you return it. And she was like, I'm sorry, I was confused by your answer. If it doesn't work, will you exchange it? And then I sold a board game kind of thing that I got from the thrift store. Somebody offered me 10, paid 50 cents. Don't really care. Not a bad deal. While I was packaging up that stuff, I also sold these dog frisbees. 3 of them, brand new, $10 plus shipping or something. Paid $1 for it. I was just going to put this in a poly bag, but I decided to put some bubble wrap around it. My whole goal is to give the customer as little reason as possible. So I always think about worst case scenario. Imagine the most annoying person ever. If they open this, what would they say? But it's good to think like that, because for 10 cents more and 30 seconds of my time, you avoid a lot of the problems.
While I finished packing, my video finished uploading. So with tons of sales and a new video on the horizon, things were going great.
I haven't recorded anything today. I posted yesterday, and this is exactly why I always say, please don't look up my eBay. I've sold $2,000 between Friday and yesterday. Since then, I haven't had one offer, not even send offer to buy or anything like that. And I know it's not the majority of you, but every single time I post, it's I just lose all sales, It is kind of annoying because, I was on a good track up until 9 o'clock last night, and now all of a sudden it's just dead in the water, 3 videos in a row now. If it helped, I would have no problem with it, or if I had stuff that you guys wanted to buy, no issues with it at all. It's just that I don't. I think the analogy is like, imagine I had a physical store and everybody just wanted to hang out and watch what was going on. Well, there'd be no room for customers to buy anything. So I appreciate like the support and everything, but it's like not just my actual business, but it's also hurting like the content because I have nothing to film because I'm not selling anything. I'm just waiting for stuff to happen. Like literally nothing changes except for the fact that I post the video. So it's like kind of hard for it to be coincidence.
If a bunch of people are looking at your listings, but nobody's buying them, eBay thinks that your listings are junk or overpriced. So they start moving those down in the search results. So right now it is March 7th. And this is the third or fourth time this year that I've left my house for something that was a non-necessity. I went out to dinner with my family. That's what the grind's all about. Only sale all day is that Pancake Loop cooler I got on Mercari, and I forgot I had free shipping on. I don't know how much it's going to cost to ship that thing. $24.
But I've had 0 sales on eBay today. I'm going to go look at my store traffic and see what it looks like.
It won't show me now. I think it's like 2 days behind. Let me just show you the last video. So February 8th, I posted the month 2 video. And as you can see right here, it's going crazy compared to my normal store traffic. And then you can see like it starts tapering off as the video gets lower. So I'm over at the storage unit today. This is the first time something's coming out of here. I sold this yesterday on Mercari. Nothing on eBay. I don't know. I just bought all those tokens. I don't like it. Like, I don't want to do that, but it's like I also don't want to have a YouTube channel that's like costing me money. Like week 2 and 3 of every single month pretty much always suck. And I just don't know what a good solution is. I contacted eBay for Business earlier today and I'm like, yo, can you guys help me out with this? Long story short, they told me that I'm basically crazy. That's not the case because they were telling me earlier that I should share a link. So I'm like, okay, I'll share a link. So then they finish it up by saying, yeah, let us know how it goes. We're curious too. Like, you're curious? I'm coming to you for you guys are the fucking experts. I'm coming to you for guidance. I know I have praised them in the past. First of all, I don't think this guy even knew what he was talking about. But furthermore, of course it's in their best interest to share a link on the surface level. They want to get as many people onto the platform as possible because even if they don't buy something from me, maybe they'll find something they actually are looking for. So I understand why they said that. But in reality, they're making themselves look bad. This is in their own best interest. Let's say even 10,000 people that want to resell on eBay watch this and they're like, oh, I can't win on eBay because look at this guy. So it's a very like cutting off your nose to spite your face. But honestly, I wouldn't recommend them. They're really just trying to protect the eBay as a company. They don't really care about you.
I gotta be the top 3 in mail slots to have 1 at number 4 and the rest just disappeared off the whole first search page. The only content I can film today is me. It's frustrating. I don't know why I can't keep them separate. My viewers are not my customers. I realize that, but they don't seem to realize that. And since I posted that link, nothing good's been going on.
But nothing could get worse.
I had a refund request for a breaker that I sold in the beginning of February for $8.99 with free shipping. And I looked at the return request. I thought maybe it was bad or something like that. Even though I test them, it could have been bad. It was the wrong one because in the picture there's multiples. So he thought there were like multiple phases. So anyway, I went back and forth with him for a minute and explained that he needs actually a Square D QO 220s, and he eventually closed the return and he was chill about it. So I did give him back $3 anyway after he closed the return. I think that's all the money that eBay actually gave me. If somebody's chill, I want to help him out, If somebody's entitled, then I want to fight with them. Then I'm like, I'm not giving you a cent.
So it started off as a great week, ended terribly. I could only hope that week 3 would bring better news. After week 2, I needed things to change quickly. This would be my 3rd full day with 0 sales.
So I just reached out to eBay for Business on Facebook, but I just don't think they understand what's going on. Sketchy too, because I don't want to be like a dick to them or anything, but I'm like, the guy told me that he had the team look into it and nothing should be going on, but I'm like, dude, this is like 3 times now. If you see the videos, week 2 and week 3 are just because that's exactly when I post the video. I hope we can figure it out.
Luckily, later that day, I sold these in codes.
10 of them for $15.
But it was just a repeat customer pressing buy again. So sales traffic was still absent. I put my head down and kept my nose to the grindstone as I continued to test, clean, and list the electronics.
Basically, each one of these channels are exactly the same. The audio starts up here and goes through all of these different sections. All these channels get summed together and go out the speakers. So all mixing boards are basically exactly the same. They're all just laid out a little bit different.
Until finally,
I sold this Walkman, which doesn't work, for $15 lost shipping.
But a mere $15 sale wasn't making anything better. The next morning,
All right, I just sold these a little while ago.
and a little bit later,
I was kind of busy all day today, grocery shopping and whatnot. I sold 2 decent sized things today. So I sold the last saxophone that I have. They offered me $100. I countered $170 plus shipping. He accepted. Then I sold this copper wire, which I had stripped in some of my previous videos. 20 pounds of it for $109 plus shipping. You get a lot more on eBay than you do at the Square scrapyard.
After the previous week, I was super appreciative to finally be making decent sales. So I packed them up and checked off all my bases.
I have all these stickers I put all over this, but really this is what we call cover your ass. Could be his neighbor opens it, cuts their hand, and then before you know it, we're in the McDonald's coffee cup lawsuit.
But better than that, the next morning, this happened.
I woke up this morning and I wound up selling that Behringer mixer, $75 overnight. I think I meant to list it for 100, whatever. I mean, I could have maybe got 90 out of it in a month versus 75 right now. Who cares? So the other thing was somebody had made an offer on one of the microphones. I had it listed for $75, offered me $55 plus shipping.
It felt like the YouTube traffic had finally died down and I could get back to that tax season grind. Jackson Hewitt, baby.
Get out of my house and into my storage unit. Man, it is so nice. I've just been listing and bringing it over. I said in month one that I only want to stick to stuff that's about like $30 and up, and that is typically true. But whatever's in there is getting sold. So perfect example. This is where some of the cables came in. It's getting sold. Anything that can be sold will at least try to be sold. I'm going to try to get as much value out of that lot as humanly possible. I just sold another particular type of doorknob. I have 20 of them right here, and then there was 5 on top of that. So I listed the 5 individually, and I've had the 20 in a lot forever. But they've been selling really, really good on their own individually. Delete the lot listings and just put them up as individual pieces.
The next day I had to finish testing the cables because even though they were just a byproduct, they'd still stack up some decent change.
I still have my Korg Micro, which seemed like the perfect fit because I have to go out of a 1/4 inch into a 1/4 inch.
And right as I was doing that,
I just sold the first thing out of all that security telecom stuff, but it was $156 for basically like wire connection kind of things. It's over at the storage unit. All right, just got over here.
Brand new, as you can see.
so I packed it up.
For stuff like this, that's something I will use free shipping on. It's small, it's not going to be expensive to ship, and the item is super expensive. I mean, it's probably going to cost me $5 to ship it. Who cares? I have a busy day today. I sold those telecom parts earlier, and I don't know if I captured it on camera, but I sold 40 ZIN codes for $70. The guy was kind of cool last time, but he told me that one of the codes wasn't working. Could have been legitimate, but we'll see this time, because this is the only guy that's ever said that to me. But then I just sold another microphone out of that box for $35 plus shipping. It's like a ham radio kind of microphone. I'm gonna go pack it up now. All right, so I had a couple small sales today so far. A pair of shorts for $10 and a broken cassette player for $25. Both of them obviously plus shipping. So I just sold this. It's a paper towel dispenser.
But while I packed that up,
The guy that bought all those ZIN codes from me yesterday messaged me, and I'm like, oh, this guy's gonna tell me that nothing worked. He's like, everything worked. He just wound up buying 30 more from me for $50, I think. Me giving him away that one thing, even though I was a little skeptical. Look how much extra business.
but that night I got nearly no sleep.
That 5 hours of sleep that I got last night did me no favors today. Went to bed at like normal midnight, maybe a little bit after, and was up at 5 o'clock, and I had no idea why. But as soon as I'm up, I can't go back to bed. So now it's 8 o'clock at night. Didn't really do much at all today. I was just like, I'm just dog. Only one sale today too. I sold these Corel coffee cups on Mercari, $15 plus shipping. So I gotta get them wrapped up, 4 of them.
A slow ending to the week. But after week 2, I couldn't complain. I'd only hope that week 4 would make up for it. Week 4 started off great.
I sold 2 of the telecom parts. One was $30 free shipping. The other one was $39. Go get that from the storage unit. And luckily this morning I listed a bunch of stuff so I can drop that off. Back over here, just pulled out the order.
And after that, I decided to hit the thrift store to see if there was anything good. And I'm glad I did because...
But look at all this stuff I got. Now, I don't know if anybody's bought sweatpants in the last 4 years, but even at Walmart, sweatpants are like $20. I came down there with like all the stuff underneath my arm. I was like, oh man, I took all the sweatpants you have. She was like, oh, you didn't see we have a bag sale. So if you fill up a bag, it's $5. And I didn't have a bag or anything, but she was just like, all right, $5. My arm load constituted that bag.
And then it was time to get to work packing up the telecom parts. And right as I did that,
So I just made this mini box for this light switch I sold. $50 plus shipping roughly.
the next day I had a wild idea.
St. Patrick's Day today. Figuring sales are going to be somewhat slow anyway. I just put everything 20% off today only, but I just want to see what happened. Think it'll be a fun thing to try. All right, so we had our first sale of the sale. Pringles container sold for $15.
But then later on,
I've had only one other sale. It was a breaker. I'll go get that packed up, but
and while I packed that up,
sold another Pringles container, so I'm going to wrap that up while I'm up here as well.
and then later that night,
All right, so the subwoofer just sold. That came in that first audio lot that I bought. Sold for $107, which I already had it priced pretty well. But whatever, I'm not trying to be like too bloated. I really try to remind myself, stop thinking about how much you could have got for something.
and at this point, we were about halfway through the sale, and I came to this conclusion.
So the one annoying thing is that a lot of
of people haven't bought anything, but they all added it to their watch list. And I don't know if they know the time restraint. Like, there's no way to say, like, today only. The way I might utilize that, Tuesday, what I might do is send an offer to those watchers with 20% off. Just one last chance at the sale. Hopefully that'll convert them.
The next morning, the sale was nearly over, and with about average sales,
I'm going to call that a flop. And I think a lot of the reason why is it didn't have a sense of urgency. Like, this is over with. I don't think I really sold anything more than I would have sold regardless. And the stuff that did sell is stuff that probably would have sold anyway.
but literally, as soon as it ended,
And I've had 2 sales since all this stuff was on sale. And now people are paying full price. The guy that's been buying a bunch of Zyn codes from me recently just bought, like, I don't even know how many for $87. Then I sold those Ubiquity antenna mounts that I'm going to have to pick up from the storage units.
nuts. Now I needed to ship the subwoofer, but it was already in the box, so all I'd have to do was bring a label with me to the storage unit and then drop it off at UPS.
So I brought the label with me and we'll tape it up. And
But then this happened.
I ripped the label and I was trying to peel off this. Gosh damn.
not a big deal, but I had to come back a mile in the wrong direction.
Later that night,
I sold a microphone on Reverb for like $30 plus shipping, so we got to go get that wrapped.
and right after that,
I've had this guy that's bothered me like 3 times about this Game Boy Color that I had when I was a little kid. I had it listed for like $80. Turns on, but I couldn't test it with the game, so I don't know if it really works. He's offering me $40 for it multiple days in a row. I finally just accepted it.
so I packed that up, and then the next day,
Man, so the guy that keeps buying all these Zyn codes from me, I really appreciate him. I mean, he buys a lot. But at the same time, he is the only person I've ever dealt with that had issues with them. Now, this time he has an issue with 2 of them, and I was just like, dude, I think you're entering them twice, because I've never had an issue yet. Like, I know it's a him problem. I can't be I've sold 600 others, not one single problem. It's like a delicate thing, because he spends a lot of money with me.
and as frustrating as that was, things were about to take a way crazier turn.
Mini heart attack, panic attack right now. So I did this brand deal, which hopefully you'll see. I asked one of my friends about it, but I had already been signing up for their payment thing where you have to input all your personal information, which makes sense. Same thing you do with eBay, same thing you do with everything. But he was just like, what? He's like, I don't know. Let me look into it. I think you might be getting frauded. And I'm like, oh my God. But I looked into it really, really extensively first, but man, I'm still feel sick to my stomach like I got my identity stolen. Joke's on them. What are they going to get? I don't know. I feel like I want to puke right now. But luckily my friend, he was the one that freaked me out, and then he was the one that made it better. He's like, no, I looked into it. There's problems in this world that you're not prepared for.
Yeah, that freaked me out, but I had to shake it off because
Oh, I just sold this towel bar. I'm going to get on wrapping this up. $30 plus shipping.
so I packed it up, but I had no idea what was in for me the next morning.
That Lutron control board I sold a month ago, the buyer is claiming that they ordered it by mistake. I guess because I had returns turned on, they just automatically accepted it. Man, that shit though. Like, it was a month ago. And that's another good reason to clean out your eBay account as quick as you can, because I have $400 on hold right now.
Even though this was a $400 hit, I had to change my mindset to avoid harping over it all day.
So I was like real stressed out about that, and I still kind of am. Number one, at least eBay's not taking money out of my bank account, only like against future sales. And then number 2, the guy has to send it back for anything. If he doesn't send it back in the same condition, then I can fight it. What's going on today? The guy that works for the village just showed up out of nowhere and was like, hey, I need to replace your water meter. You have to come in and see all this stuff everywhere. It's just like, geez, I look like such a hoarder. Embarrassing, but I don't know what's going on today. I should have stayed in bed. Now I had Jehovah's Witnesses stop by to talk to me. Nice, I'll talk to anybody. But I got work to do. I have that panic attack still. I don't know if my identity was stolen.
But then on top of all that,
I don't know what's wrong with the guy that buys all this info. He messaged me and he's like, hey, you only sent me 50 when they're supposed to be 60. I'm like, no, dude. Look, you can only send 5 pictures at a time. There's one single picture of 10 by itself.
then finally, some good news.
Well, maybe today isn't all bad. My YouTube money for the previous month just hit. God damn it. Let's go, baby. Let's go. The VCR that I got out of that electronic slot, there was a guy that contacted me a while ago. I had tested it originally. It powered up. It fast forwarded, rewound, stopped, Like, I can't plug it into a TV. And he was like, asking if I could test it. And I just kind of ignored him because I was like, I don't know anything about VCRs. I don't know if it works. This is what I was able to get it to do, but it's not going to dick around with it. It already has like 11 watchers on eBay, 5 on Macari. It was asking $150. I'm like, somebody's going to buy this fucking thing.
So he sent me an offer for $100, and I messaged him, and I'm like, I would probably sell it for $100 right now. But I don't want to deal with returns. Cheaper for me to throw it out than you get it for $100 and me have to pay to get it back. I'm like, so I don't know if it works. So if you're okay with that, I'll take the offer. Eventually, it was like, yeah, that's fine.
So I got that all packed up.
It is the last day of the month, and usually the last day goes well, but today's not.
Oh, shoot.
Thought I sold these, but I grabbed the wrong package. The lady that sold me the faucets in month 1, I went there this morning,
and bought it. So I'll show you what I got.
And look at all the stuff I got. 4 Delta faucets, 2 of these Season brand faucets, 4 smoke detectors, and for everything I paid $60.
Every single one of my customers part has been a repeat.
I had to go right back to the storage unit and get the right part. I came home, packed it up, and right as I finished, this happened.
Just as I'm getting more aggravated, some guy that I bought that Game Boy from the other day said, he got it, it powers up, but the buttons aren't working. My description very, very clearly said, powers up, but I haven't been able to test because I don't have any game. I told him that, and he's like, yeah, but still, it's not working. He's like, they only sell for $10. I sold it for $40. I just looked up. They consistently sell for $50 to $60. So I said, how about a return? He was asking me to give him back everything but $10 plus shipping. Just entitled people. Thing is, the reason why that got me so fired up had nothing to do with the transaction itself, but it's just as like, I just can't believe you can look yourself in the mirror and know you don't stick to your word. We all made a deal based on these terms. Everybody was aware of everything. In this series, you've seen things not go my way quite a few times where I've got the short end of the stick in transaction, but I was always stuck to my word. I don't care what it is. I'd rather take an L than look myself in the mirror and say, yeah, I know I agreed to that, but since I didn't work out in my favor, I'm going to go back on it. When you make a deal with somebody, you stick to what you agreed to.
Yeah, that was frustrating. But later on that night,
so I just sold this crystal knob for $5. Man, that certainly makes up for the $450 I've lost over the last 2 days. Wish I could end this month 2 days ago. You know, last month I ended off on why I love eBay, but this month I'm going to end off on why I hate eBay. eBay as a platform itself should be looking at its sellers, because without its sellers it has nothing. I had to offer this guy a return. I probably didn't have to, but I knew that if I didn't, eBay was going to have a problem with it. Even though I described it as accurately and honestly as possible, this guy was upset with the transaction. So that's the one thing I hate, is the buyer takes no responsibility for anything. Oh, I didn't know. I didn't know. I sell a drill to a roofer. They have 30 days to drop it off a roof before I have to give him a brand new one. Why is that?
funny enough, as soon as I got done bashing eBay,
A little bit better news, I just sold a set player from the audio lot I bought this month. For everything, I think the guy paid $100. It's probably going to cost me $20 to ship it.
and it didn't just stop there.
I got an offer on Mercari for a toy that I got from my friend, some Halo toy. It's upstairs. I can go ship it.
And right as I went to go pack that,
Apparently, I sold 5 more doorknobs for $60. So I don't know what the total is, but it's better than nothing.
so the packing kept me late into the night. But after all the bumps and bruises the last 2 days gave me, I needed it.
Now for the results. But first, I am starting a second channel. I know some of you have asked me to upload more than one of these videos a month. I'm currently 66 hours into editing the video that you're watching right now. So no, and I'm still not done. But with that being said, I have bought a new computer that has made editing a little bit more efficient, but I don't want to put any less time into these videos. I just want to keep making them better as best I can. I want to keep this channel really high quality. But with that being said, I actually record probably 10 times the amount of content that I actually put out. Now, some of you have complained quite a bit about how fast my videos are. I'm going to try to release extended versions of these videos that are much less edited, no sound effect, no music, on the second channel. If you guys want to see that, you can see it. Breakdowns like how much I made off of each lot. Well, I have a video already recorded and almost done edited. That'll be up soon. And then lastly, I also have been recording the behind the scenes of making this video, which I'll also be uploading. So I'm going to continue to upload a little bit different things. They won't be as highly edited, and I just want the ability to not only upload more content, but also be able to experiment. If you're interested in that, go subscribe. If not, no big deal. So after everything, paying for shipping, fees, inventory, the refund, I made $1,948.43. This is obviously my best month to date. But that's not all the money I make. I have YouTube as well. These particular videos don't fall during months, but most of this video took place in March. In March, altogether, I made just under $5,000 for everything. I didn't have any sponsors, but that was between YouTube AdSense and resell. Check QuickBooks. So yeah, I'm not starving. I'm doing okay. It just so happens that the byproduct, which is the story, is more profitable than the actual reselling itself. Now, with that being said, YouTube does take away from my reselling time. Obviously, the time commitment is huge, as we've seen. But then also, just having all the attention slows down my sales every month for at least a week. And the crazy thing is, if I would have stopped one day prior, my total would have been $2176.25. But all those returns cost me $200 in the last day. I will go over how all those refunds turned out. The Lutron, I gave that guy back 60% of his money. I felt bad, but his employee opened it and probably installed it somewhere, and then they realized, like, oh, we don't need it for this project, so I'm just going to stick it back in the box. I can't resell it for $400. Number 2 was Game Boy. That guy was annoying. I accepted his return and I wound up selling it again, not even a couple weeks later, for an additional $10 on top of what he paid. So that covered a lot of the cost. I believe that's it. But with that being said, realize the agita of it is just not worth, at this point, I'm not even fighting with anybody. I don't care. Don't want the headache more than I don't want to lose $10, you know? I'm getting by for now. I don't know that's going to work out forever. I'll get a different job if it doesn't work out. Oh, and another brief thing. Some people have asked me like, well, why don't you take unemployment or anything like that? This whole entire thing, I knew it was stupid. I knew it was stupid. In order for me to mentally cope with that fact, it has to be 100% self-sustainable. I can't take anything from anybody, and I don't want to. I don't want any handouts. I don't want any sort of assistance. If I can't make it work, then it doesn't work. The market has to decide that this works. I don't want anybody else to participate in that dumb decision with me. I wanted the YouTube to be a fly on the wall. You guys to affect me negatively, but I also don't want you to affect me positively. Like, that kind of ruins it. Anyway, I'm gonna keep making these videos, obviously.